All right, ready, guys?
Clip it.
So,
I'm very awkward. I can't. Oh, God.
welcome. Who are you for the people?
I'm Rosie, your cousin.
You go first.
I'm Ashley. I am a music teacher, and in the afternoons, private lessons, and then during the day, I work with kids with learning disabilities to help them read. It's not funny, bro.
I'm not laughing
that's
at that.
funny?
I'm not laughing at that.
My name is Erin. I went to Bucknell University. I played field hockey there, and I studied chemical engineering.
Yeah, I live in Boston. Just chilling.
It's not funny, bro.
I was already laughing.
I'm Lamron Cardi. I am currently in the East Falls Manayunk area.
I went to Northeastern for undergrad up in Boston. Started in 2017, did 2 co-ops, and graduated in 5 years. Since then, I've been working as a medical assistant and then also currently bartending before I go to med school in the fall.
What? I'm giggling.
This is Jake. He works in percussion sales, and then he also runs his old high school's drum line.
That's true.
I'm currently a textile engineering student at Thomas Jefferson / Philadelphia University. Currently working as a textile engineer in Norristown, trying to figure out what I want to do post-grad location-wise.
How are you?
Good.
I'm great.
I'm doing well. How are you?
Good.
Yeah, we just got engaged a few weeks ago. I finally am in jobs that I really like, and I feel like everything's going well right now.
Pretty good, actually. I feel like I'm a lot better than I've been in the past, which I'm definitely very, very proud of.
I'm good. I am definitely in a transition period now because I am leaving Boston and ending this phase of my life and starting a new one in Philly. So things have been good, but definitely chaotic and a little stressful with change.
Mm-hmm.
Everything is exactly as I thought it would be. Perfectly planned and calculated right out of college.
Are you where you were expecting to be 2 years ago?
Yes, I think before 2 years ago, I had no idea where I would be at 24, 2 years post-college. Right around senior year of college, I started to get a much clearer sense of what I wanted my future to look like, what I wanted my career to look like. So I do think that I am at the spot that I thought I would be at.
I'm where I wanted to be 2 years ago, but I'm also where I didn't believe where I would be last year, if that makes any sense. I am happy with where I'm at. It definitely was a goal of mine, but it didn't feel attainable at that time.
Definitely not. Definitely not. I honestly, I don't know what I expected, but my experience out of college was definitely not what I expected. I feel like in college you do a lot of book work and talking with friends about hypothetical situations. But when you're kind of thrown into it, it's definitely harder to get information, harder to make decisions, harder to just a lot more complicated than a book with the answer in the back of the book in small print, whatever. Definitely not as black and white as college.
Yeah, I take things so day by day, and my degree left me very open-ended, kind of able to do whatever. So I wasn't necessarily expecting much per se, something exact, but I am very happy that we have our own place and everything, and I'm doing a job with music, and music's still a very relevant part of my life, so made the degree work.
Do you have any regrets about where or what you went to college for?
No regrets.
No, definitely not. I loved college. I loved playing field hockey. I loved our school in general. I liked that it was a unique experience in the middle of nowhere, with a really small community. I feel like the community aspect of Bucknell kind of made the difference. I don't know if I would have liked it as much if I didn't play a sport because of being in the middle of nowhere. I feel like I would have been bored a little bit at times. I liked that when you turned the corner, like you knew everyone, or for the most part, knew most people, or like you always knew someone around wherever you were.
I don't know if there's anything that I would have changed. I am really grateful for the experiences that I've had, and especially with Northeastern, specifically just having the working opportunities that I did and being able to go on co-op. I think it definitely shaped my career trajectory and also just gave me a sense of what it's like to be out in the field and working. I also met my boyfriend in college. We live together now, so.
Yeah, that's a tricky one for me. A lot of people probably don't know this because I'm like super private about it, but I got hit with a pretty bad mental illness crisis like 3 months into my freshman year. And I spent a lot of time attributing the stress and like the timing of that to where I chose to go to school. And like I've come to realize, not recently, but I transitioned into understanding that like that would have happened anywhere. It doesn't really matter where I went, what I tried to study. Like it was really just like a timer, I would say. But the benefit of that is that like I've actually been able to figure out what I really wanted to do and didn't necessarily go down as many trial and error avenues that most people do. Like it was really just kind of like a self-exploration period of time that kind of geared me towards where I wanted to end up doing. So yeah, college ended up being like super duper weird. I don't think if anything were to be any different, would I be in the position that I am right now. So like I always say like I wouldn't do anything differently, but I'd never do it again, if that makes sense.
I mean, like, I wish I was explained a little bit more of what college was, and like on a monetary standpoint before college, because like you know that you're going to come out of college with loans, but when you're 17, like you can comprehend, like you're old enough to comprehend like how much a monthly payment is going to run you, and I feel like nobody breaks it down like that. And I wish I could have expected that a little bit more, and maybe I would have had like a more specific degree. If I did anything else, I would have gone to a school that I could have gotten a bachelor's in music therapy, because we didn't have a bachelor's in music therapy where we went. And if I went to a school with that degree, I definitely would have like pursued that, and then I would have had that coming out of college. Whereas we only had like music ed, music production, or music performance. And like those were our only options, and I wasn't really interested in two. So I was just like left with performance.
But she's the best performer we had.
Obviously, no school is perfect. No college experience is going to be like all roses, but all in all, I'm very happy with all of it.
How much do you feel you use your degree now?
I think the one part about Bucknell in particular that kind of prepared me is the social aspect. Like when you think of like the bigger schools, like a Penn State or like the big schools, like you're in a classroom, you get like you see the professor like writing on the wall, you see like people taking notes and then they leave. Whereas Bucknell's so personal that like that interaction between like your classmates and like the professor and like the small group work, especially in like the engineering field, I feel like that's very much more real world experience than like the actual content itself. But being able to navigate like the group work and the weird projects that we had, I feel like that was, if anything, that was more real life than like sitting down and regurgitating information.
I do think I use my degree in my current job, but in the realm of music industry, it's such a broad career path. But there's other aspects that I wish I was doing more of actively in that realm.
Like performing?
Like performing or producing.
We want to perform more.
Stuff like that.
It's on our bucket list for the summer.
I mean, a lot of the hands-on training that I do, anything that translates into like what I actually studied, which makes me say just for work, because there's a lot of time that I've spent in college and now half in, half out. I've also spent a decent like amount of time out of it. I feel like there's a lot of stuff that kind of just not even falls through the cracks. It's just, you don't really touch it again unless you need to. Like I think there's a wide range of things to learn, how curriculums are and stuff like that. but I don't think that everything that you learn has to be retained. I think there are certain things that you definitely want to be able to rely on as far as like a skill or something like that.
Yeah, I can tell you Reynolds' number is roses are red, violets are blue. Reynolds' number is rho dv over mu. But like, because it's a fun little Valentine's Day saying, not necessarily because it has actual meaning in what I'm doing.
Do you consider college to be a worthwhile investment?
I think that depends on the person. Personally, I'm not for or against. I don't judge people that go. I don't judge people that don't. I think that's completely up to them. And also there are certain factors that will either force people to go or keep people from being able to. So that's why I think it's super subjective.
I do. I've actually been having this conversation a lot with Daniel and just other friends about, I never really thought that not going to college was an option. Not that I felt pressured to go, but it was the next step, kind of in the same way. Going from 11th to 12th grade, that's just what you do. In my head, going to college is just what you do.
I absolutely think college was worth it.
For the experience, especially, more so, I feel.
Yeah. Like, I feel like with our...
Like, I grew as a person a lot, but then, like... And I do need a bachelor's degree in everything that I'm doing. And I feel like I use the knowledge that I got from college, absolutely, like in my voice lessons specifically. Like I've learned so much in that, so I just take my knowledge with me. But yeah, I would say it's worth it.
Yeah, definitely worth it.
I think the prices of colleges are just getting absolutely out of this world. And I don't know how... I think it's an expectation in the real world that, like, if you don't have a college degree, I think it's difficult if you don't have a college degree to kind of navigate life, because I have one and I still don't know what to do, and I am very lost at all times. I have no clue what I'm doing.
I never really thought of it as, is it worthwhile, worth my money, worth my time? But looking back on it, I do really think it was worth my money and my time. I don't know if I would have felt the same way if I had gone to another school, had a different experience, but I'm really grateful for it. And yeah, I'm happy with where I am now.
Previously, maybe it would make a lot more sense given like the job market and how valuable the difference between like a college degree and not having one would be, but now it's more networking and who you know, and it's not super straightforward whether you do or don't have one. So I guess if you want to kind of edge yourself ahead a little bit, or a decent amount, honestly, like it's how big of a jump you want to say it is completely up to you. But I would say it's very person specific. And I'm just thinking about, like, in my head, if I, post grad, if I were to look at somebody in or outside of my situation when I was younger, like, I wouldn't push them not to go. I wouldn't push them to go. I would rather push them to, like, figure it out and what's best for them.
How have you dealt with not having a set path after college?
I forced myself into a set path.
I think I was lucky. I got the job I wanted out of college pretty soon, so that kind of just set me up on the path that I'm currently taking. It was definitely a little uncertain coming out. I had a couple months of just working at the YMCA. I worked there for 6 years just because I already had a job there. But once I got my current job, I just that's my current path for the foreseeable future. So for me, I feel like I was lucky coming out of college, and especially with my drumline job, I had reached out to my old director about helping him, but he actually passed the torch down to me and referred me to take over. So I definitely think I was lucky in that sense. And I plan to just kind of ride that path the next couple of years.
I definitely feel like that was probably one of the hardest things for me post-college, because I feel like I'm a very goal-oriented individual. So, like, you go to middle school, and then, like, middle school, you go to high school, and in high school, the whole point is to get good grades so that you can get into a good college, because you need a college degree to do what you want. And so once you get to college, the goal is to, like, get a good degree so that you can get a good job. And then you suddenly get this job that maybe doesn't meet your expectations. Kind of like what goes on from here. So that was definitely hard.
I think my experience is definitely different from other people that you'll interview, because I think that was why I was brought back to medicine in some ways. I knew that there were a lot of other reasons that I wanted to go back into medicine, but I did also appreciate the stability of knowing what the next 10 years of my life look like. And if that were the only reason, I wouldn't have gone into medicine. But it is nice to know that starting this fall, it's kind of the same as college. It's another 4 years. I have some sort of stability, and that definitely brings me peace. So yeah, it was tough graduating and just not really knowing if I was going to get into med school, what that deal was, what I was going to do in between. But now I do think that I have a much more set idea of what that looks like.
And congrats.
Thanks.
I just thought about that if we were filming this video 5 months earlier, I would have a completely different answer for literally every single thing that I just said, because it's really just been the last 2 months or so that I've really gotten into a really good system with my jobs. I was working at Starbucks for far longer than I wanted to after college, and it was always tough. It was a tough battle for me because I did enjoy the day to day because it was fun. I would just go to work, make cold coffees, chit chat with people, and it was easy work. But then I was feeling really unfulfilled, and that was definitely tough for a while. But then now that I'm in the job that I am during the day, because I was always teaching music lessons, it was just really that bulk of my day that now I'm finally feeling really good about. But I was definitely feeling it harsh a few months ago, being oh my god, I'm gonna work at Starbucks forever, this pointless job. It was still, but I was just trying to enjoy the day to day of it, because I did. But I don't know.
So being completely honest, I hate it. I'm a very logic-driven person, so a lot of open-ended stuff the perfectionist in me wants to choose the right thing to do all the time, but as far as how random life can be and how that works, I know that's not a solid mentality to cling to. I'm not very big on, I could say I go with the flow, but I don't like giving up my autonomy, I would say, and you have to do a certain amount of that to figure out things that you don't really know. So I'm tussling with that, but it doesn't bother me. It used to bother me a lot.
You have to almost put yourself out there and put yourself into the communities that you want to be a part of. And I feel there's a lot of benefits to being in different communities, but I think it takes a lot of effort, and that's something that I didn't expect.
I think back to when people talk about you're so young, you have all of these different, or a lack thereof, responsibilities and stuff like that. If there's any time to kind of dip your toe into different things and just explore, it would be now. So I just try to embrace that.
You could literally go to work, you don't even have to get a job. You could literally just sit at home, or you could get a job and then just come home and then go to bed. But that's not fulfilling. I don't know. At least I don't think so.
Describe your relationships post-college.
I think for us, it was very much it worked because we both really, really prioritized our relationship. We were both always on the same mindset. We both worked towards each other and were making decisions to end up together. And that just it was so much easier than we thought it was going to be. We had no idea what that would look like post-college because we had only dated when we were living on campus, and then our houses were an hour apart, which is an awkward distance. So we would, just have to spend weekends with each other. But we just really always made choices to make that work, and it worked great for us.
I have been putting a lot more effort into maintaining the friendships and relationships that I have, rather than making new ones. I am realizing with such limited time and working 9 to 5 every day, only having evenings and weekends, I really want to set that time for the people that I care about and love. And I think it's definitely deepened my relationships with the people that I find, or that I hold really near and dear to me. I have made new friends and it's been great. But yeah, post-college, I think it's been a lot more focusing on nourishing the relationships that I already have. And Daniel and I live together, and this has been really great and wonderful.
Yeah. No, I definitely think that's been one thing that's been kind of really fun post-college. Because like I said, the whole point of you're put in so many communities like growing up, and then like you have the opportunity to kind of choose your own communities. So like in work, like talking with all the operators has been really fun. Like in school, you're always with the same people your age, and then like you're suddenly thrown into a work environment with people that are really older than you that you kind of have to be in charge of. Then you have, you know, a younger boss, and you have like a lot of different relationships with a lot of different people in a work environment, which I think has been really fun navigating. Same with the different little communities that I've kind of made myself a part of. So like I'm in an adult field hockey league, and like me and my friend are the youngest there, but like all the ladies are like super nice and fun to talk to, and some of them are as old as like 45, and here I am like 23, like half their age, and they always make fun of us.
I like where my current relationships are at. I think, especially compared to where they've been, regardless of if I went about it well or poorly, I've definitely cut out a lot of people from my life that just didn't. Saying they didn't offer anything sounds really bad, but I just didn't feel like I was being fed into, and I was kind of giving a lot out with. And things don't have to be like exchangeable, but I think it's a common courtesy thing to continue to do that. So it's like a certain amount of cutting off people that I used to be with consistently that just weren't good for my life, either currently or in that transitional period for me. But I also spend a lot more time with other people that I wasn't as close to. Reconnecting those has definitely been really nice. I also talked about like back down at State. Like I still talk to my old suite mates and all of my friends that I've made down there. I don't visit as often as I should, but it's always fun to go down and see how everybody's doing. But we also keep in contact like outside of that as well.
And then as for friends, it's just tricky because we live far from like our school friends, our Lancaster friends, which is sad, and it's just hard. But now we have more time. Like now that we're living together, we have more time to see our friends, because when we weren't living together, it was very much like every weekend we would make seeing each other the priority. So then that like sucked up time that we like could have spent with our other friends.
Yeah, I think just like everyone kind of has a full-time job now too, so that, you know, we got our own work nights and school nights, right. So the weekdays are kind of just hard in general. But yeah, definitely since we've moved in with each other, we've been able to socialize more, like bringing people to one solidified place or going out together. It's not as complicated as it was when we were apart, but definitely working on just making more plans once the summer kind of rolls around a little more.
Like the rager we're throwing tonight.
Jefferson, NC State to Jefferson was very different. Like NC State was its own city. I think it was like 48,000. Jefferson's around 3, so everybody ends up kind of knowing each other, but it's also not a very social campus, which for people getting their first college experience, I'm like, that sucks for you. But for me, like my main focus was just really to do my studies and take care of myself and kind of get out with those two things in mind. So the friends that I've made here are people that I felt that I should surround myself with, whether that's like career, money, creatively oriented people, just to like spin off a lot of different ideas and stuff like that and things that I'm interested in. I think that's something that I had lacked in my previous relationships. Like again, my roommates that I'm moving in with, we were all in design together. I'm probably like closer knit to the design department than I am with anybody else at the school. Even after I left, like I was only there for a year and then I went back to engineering, but like we all still keep in contact and like go throw parties and stuff like that, which is always very fun. Old friends, kept a decent amount of those too, because like it's always good to like, regardless of how much time goes by, like these people probably know you better than anyone besides your family, so you kind of have like endless memories to kind of pull back on that you can't necessarily do with new people. So I think I have a good balance of like nostalgia, whatever's going around presently, which is also very important, but like people with plans to move forward as well. So I think I kind of am across the board okay.
Do you think it's more difficult to make new relationships after college, and how?
I definitely do. I got really close with some of my coworkers at jobs post-college, and that was really great. And the people that I get along with and click with. Obviously, I'm not going to be like, oh, I can't be your friend because I'm not looking for new friends. But I do think that it has been harder. Since I'm not putting in energy, I don't think I'm seeing that. But I do have a lot of friends who are in new cities. They're alone. They don't have a network. And finding new friends has been tough. I don't know. I know that there are so many opportunities in adulthood that aren't really presented in college where you can like put yourself out there, join a rec league for soccer. I know a lot of friends who have moved to new cities and just joined rec leagues and made good friends through that. So I definitely think that more intention has to be put into making new friends.
I think it's been hard in the sense of just being able to meet new people. You know, at college, you're constantly surrounded by so many different people and people you've never met before. But once, out of it, we're kind of settled at one place, and just really depending on your work environment, I think really dictates.
Yeah, you also work with 40-year-olds, so.
I work with adults or I work with children, so I don't really have much
that's
much
true.
place to make close friendships. Definitely a lot of cordial friendships, or
yes.
I'm close with people I work with. But in terms of meeting new individuals, it's definitely harder just socially. But if given the opportunity, I'm sure we could.
I feel like I've made one good friend from every job that I've worked at college or since college, and I think that's perfect. I'll take that.
Yeah, no, I think it's really hard to make friends post-college because you're either half your time is spent in a work environment where you're supposed to be working and you're being compensated for performing, and then the other half, then you have a few hours of free time each day, and in addition to normal everyday nuances, so eating, sleeping, showering, I don't even know, and then add into your own things that personally make you happy. So for me, doing something some sort of physical activity. So I definitely think time plays a factor into those new relationships. I almost feel post-college, you don't have to be friends with everyone, which kind of seems weird, but you have such limited time, it doesn't really matter that the person that you meet at a bar one time is not your BFF because you'll probably never see them again kind of situation. You know what I mean? But I feel that's kind of also what makes adult friendships that much more special. I almost think that it's important to you only have so much energy every day. You got to put it into the friends that are.
What have been your favorite life experiences post-college?
Oh, that's a good one.
I plead the fifth. I don't think I can answer that. I really tried. I really did.
I feel like the exploration thing. So I've gone to Wisconsin. We're going to Alaska. I guess that hasn't technically happened yet, but I'm really excited for it. Traveling, exploring more, spending some more quality time with family.
So post-college has really been great. I am really fortunate to have a lot of my friends stay in the area. And I don't know if there's anything particularly big. I've traveled a bit and spent time with friends just all over, but just the weekly recap, being able to see my friends at the end of the day, have a whole network in the city that I really love, has been really special.
Definitely exploring new interests. I've done such random things. I've taken a trapeze class. That was incredible, but such a fun experience that you would never that you probably wouldn't do in your normal college everyday life. So those things definitely brought me a lot of joy.
Do you consider yourself successful?
I would consider myself successful. I got a full-time job in my industry out of school. I have a part-time job doing something I love that I grew up doing.
I have always been a little less work motivated and more personal life and love and relationship, not only love relationship but family and friend relationship, motivated. And I think I'm exactly where I want to be with us, and I love my circle of friends. So I've always considered myself successful in that way because I feel very happy with everybody in my life, and everything. And as for jobs, yeah, I think I'm making an impact a lot on the kids that I work with, because I basically just work with kids all day, whether it's with music or like helping them read. But both of those things, I know that I'm like really creating an impact on the kids, and I think that definitely means a lot to me.
I'm definitely proud of like how I've like dealt with things post college. Like I don't think a lot of things are easy. Living at home, kind of taking that baby step definitely helped a little bit to kind of like familiar yourself, to kind of like focus on like getting assimilated with a new job, and then like you can kind of branch out from there. And I think it's been like a lot of learning post college, but do I think I'm successful? I don't know about that. Like I don't do much. I'm definitely proud of like the little goals that I've set for myself. I started CrossFit and I can climb a rope now, so that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I would say so. I think that, again, what I said before about like my bare minimum kind of expectations for my future, whether that be like being somewhere pretty location-wise or working somewhere where I can kind of lock in and listen to music. Like for me, the only goal is just being content in general.
How do you define success for someone your age?
I think for people our age, that's how I kind of see the definition of success. Like you're doing something you want to do, you're making a livable income, and you know you're still happy and having fun.
Yeah.
What have other people said? Can I phone a friend?
Like I feel like the general theme that we're kind of getting around is like I'm feeling a general theme of happiness, but I know you're also not necessarily trying to get at that, which is good. It's a lot more layered. Like I think of happiness as a destination that you can kind of get in and out of, but being content with like your life on a more broad scale is kind of what you want to focus on. Having reasons to get up, having reasons to go out, having any type of like drive behind you that you think is not your purpose, but what you can offer to the world and yourself is what I would consider success. Like I know a lot of people with a lot of money that are miserable. I know a lot of people with not a lot of money that are also fine, making the most out of that. So yeah.
I feel like I go back to like my happiness answer. Like if you're happy in your job, if you're happy in your relationships, if you're happy where you're at, like financially, socially, mentally, emotionally, like I feel like you could be low in one spot and maybe you wouldn't consider yourself successful, because that's like been such like a huge drain on like, you know, maybe it would be if you're happy in all areas of your life, then I would consider like myself successful at our age.
What would be your message for your past self?
Slow down. I think through all of high school, I was incredibly busy with multiple music extracurriculars and sports and just other clubs outside. I worked as well. And I definitely carried that through college. I definitely experienced a lot in college that I wanted to experience and like do, you know, as much as I could while having all those resources. But I definitely I spread myself like way thin. But it's things I all enjoyed. So it was kind of like, did the benefit outweigh the doubt? But I think just definitely like taking a little bit of a step back would have helped me just mentally, I think. But I think it overall got me to where I am today.
Like, it's just not that deep. I don't know. I think I was really anxious and insecure and stressed all the time, and I still am stressed all the time, but I think in a different way, and knowing that everything's going to work out. I don't know, going into college, it's like my future starts now. I need to know what I'm going to do. I need to have my plan set out, and I need to make all my friends now, and it lucked out. I did. And I need to just like know where my future is headed. And I think now I still feel that way. I want to know what's coming next. I'm not the best with change, but I think I was a lot worse freshman year of college. And knowing now that everything just worked out, and no matter what, it's going to be tough, but we'll get through it. I think that's what I would tell her.
I think I was just a very big overthinker. And I didn't learn until probably halfway through college to really take things day by day and take things in stride. And that frame of mind really helped me in life. So I would probably just tell myself to like chill out a little bit, like mentally, like not freak out about everything.
I think sometimes I'm a little bit of a worry wart. So to just, take it day by day, chill out a little bit. I think I did better towards the end of college, but I definitely was very stressed in the beginning, trying to like be perfect. No one's perfect. That would be my message. Take a chill pill.
Leave that bitch alone. No hesitation. Gotta save my boy. He doesn't know what he's in store for.
Where do you expect to be in 1 year?
1 year, definitely in the thick of stress. When it comes to school, I'm trying not to think of the transition in my life as being like one part ends and a new part begins, but just more of like knitting them together. I'll still have all of my friends that I have had for the past almost 7 years. I've been in Boston for so damn long. But I also know that my life is going to look very different, and I will have different or new friends, new city, new daily schedule. The way that I go about the world will be a little different, but I'm looking forward to it for sure.
Post-grad, bachelor's, looking for grad schools to finish my master's. Don't think I'll jump into it, so my two paths that I've been thinking about right now are, if I wanted to stay in Philly, I could just go back to the job that I have now post-graduation, because they'd like to keep me at least 1 or 2 days a week throughout the year. And all they care about doing, which is really nice, is just building my resume so I can go somewhere else.
I hope to be in Philly. I hope to, because I'm starting off my job, I hope in a year I'm more comfortable in what I'm doing, but also still curious. Like, I don't want to be bored or know everything. I like being at a job where I'm like constantly kind of having to learn something new or experience something different. I hope I've met some new friends that have similar interests. Not only like hope to continue to grow my old like friendships that I've had, but also like find some new friendships for like things that, new interests that I have, such as like CrossFit or field hockey or I don't know what else. Pretty boring person.
I'd honestly be happy if
We'll probably be right
everything
in this
was the
exact
exact
apartment.
same place. Same apartment, same jobs. I'd be happy.
We'll be neck deep in wedding planning now.
Yes,
so
we will.
that'll be
Hopefully I'll
fun.
have a dress picked out in a year.
The second thing, which I've also been toying around with, is working somewhere else, having to relocate, because Philly's just not a great spot for textile manufacturing. You need a lot of space. There aren't going to be places in the city that are willing to give like that much space away for that. So that's why I kind of have to move out to like the Norristown, Lansdale areas, because that's where they have stuff. And I still want to live in the city, so I don't feel like commuting over there all the time. I'm kind of at Jefferson/Philadelphia U, mainly for the stature that the school had in my specific field. Used to be #1 for a while. My 5 people that I work with, including my CEO, graduated from where I currently go to school, but it's not what it used to be. The labs that we have aren't fully functional, and all of my major specific professors graduated from NC State, which is now #1 for bachelor's and graduate degree as far as textile engineering. So bringing it together, work and school, I could find somewhere back down south to, at least in North Carolina, to work for a year, claim residency, and then finish up my grad degree at NC State and basically pay nothing for it. So yeah, stay here, go somewhere else, go back to North Carolina.
I hope that I have some more life experience under my belt so that I feel more comfortable in the city and that I feel more comfortable with like adult things like an HSA or banks or rent and leases, or like what happens if my washer and dryer breaks? I don't even know who to call. What happens if my bus doesn't show up? How do I navigate the train? I have no clue. Like, holy crap. Like, maybe call an Uber right now. I just started teaching myself how to cook. It's not going great.
Where do you expect to be in 5 years?
Oh boy. Hopefully a better cooker than I am now.
29. What did people say? Like families and shit? Like what how am I supposed to answer this? I don't know.
In 5 years, let's see, we'll be 20, we'll be like turning 28. Probably like we would like to be in a townhouse, I would say.
At least
like
a
a bigger,
townhouse.
like a little bit of a bigger place in a good enough spot financially, maybe to try for a kid, maybe in 5 years.
Jake Jr. Just kidding.
I want to be a young parent, kind of, since we're getting married young.
Fame it. No, I'm joking.
In terms of my career, I'll be in residency. People say that it's like the highest highs and the lowest lows. Geographically, I don't know. I think I have always felt so torn between Philly and Boston, and obviously it depends on where I get in. So I don't know. Knowing that my life is pretty set but also incredibly ambiguous is kind of stressful. But yeah, I think still chilling.
Long-term relationship at that point would be nice because all of the good ones might be snatched up by then.
I think Daniel and I will still be together. Hopefully we'll be in the same city, which would be nice. In terms of friends, I think the older that I've gotten, the harder it's been to really keep in touch with my close people because everyone's dispersing, everybody's moving away. So my closest friends in the world, a lot of them are in Boston, but there's Texas, there's Minneapolis, there's Philly, there's Boston, there's New York. It's the further we get out from college and the more people focus on their careers or other relationships, I think the further apart my network feels. So I think it'll still require a lot of intention, but I think we'll be good. The people that I have are definitely my people for life.
I just am not even naturally inclined, like I'm just bound to have mood fluctuations. So how I view different things at certain different points of life is gonna change, which is why it's harder for me to like answer like what I will particularly like and not care for at 29. I see myself financially stable, managing my symptoms really well so that it's like not something that impacts me on a regular basis. I'm gonna have bad days. I'm hopefully not gonna have really good days because that's problematic. But yeah, just getting to a point where like I can stick in the middle, and then whenever life throws something at me, I'm also in a position to respond to that well. Yeah, that and just staying active, because I think that's a lot of like a period of time where people kind of slag off, or not slag off, but they kind of drift off from that aspect when they're trying to get all of the intangible parts of their life together.
I don't know. I hope I'm confident in like whatever work I'm doing, whether it be where I'm at or somewhere new. Like I feel like by how old would we be then? Like 28? Yeah. I don't know about that.
So famous. That's what we're going with.
Mark it on your calendar.
What message do you have for yourself in 1 year? You can look at the camera for this one.
I guess again, we don't have to be that stressed. We can, we'll be happy, it'll work out. And I need to remind myself that regularly now.
Probably remember to slow down, I would say. I can get very caught up into like the heat of life's demands, and that kind of ends up weighing on me like a lot. Like I think about a lot of stuff that's outside of my control, and that kind of makes time move a lot faster. Like I have to like consciously bring myself back into like what's happening right now, because I'm like really bad at daydreaming and stuff like that, and I can spend so much time doing that when really it's better to like, again, slow yourself down.
Be amazing. No, I'm joking. I don't know. I hope I do some fun stuff, like some really fun life stuff. Because I feel like up until this point, you know, like we never got to go abroad because of COVID. I feel like we've just like my life until this point has just been very regimented. So I hope in the future I do some fun, spontaneous things, because that's not in my nature. But like, I feel like in your 20s, like that's the name of the game. So if you want to go on any trips, Yeah. I want to go bungee. That's part of my goal this year. Go bungee jumping with Caroline.
I also like can rush a lot of things instead of enjoying the general process of it. That's that's also the perfectionist in me, where I just kind of like things have to be a certain way. If I'm not performing a certain way, then I've completely failed. So, no, I take it back. I would say just celebrate your wins. That's probably what I would go for, because I don't do that enough.
Were there any concerns about proposing too early or having a timer on your proposal?
No. So just to give a little summary, so we became very close friends spring of freshman year of college, but we didn't officially start dating until October of our junior year, so 2021. We had just been very close for a long time, and once we started dating, we definitely wanted to live with each other first, just to take that next step in our relationship. But I think I could speak for the both of us that we were just very comfortable where we are in our relationship, and I don't think I didn't feel any pressure to propose. I don't think and she wasn't pressuring me at all. But it's just something I've been planning for a while,
Yeah, and I knew that, and I knew we had a similar timeline, and everything was just always easy. So we're comfortable. I think it came at a perfect time.
Yeah. Thought might as well. Why wait?
Awesome. That's everything.
Okay, God.
Thank you for joining me.
You're welcome.
Thank you
was
guys so
cute.
much.
That was so cute.
Can I do the intros again? Just clip it.
You can do what you want. I may or may not use it.
I'm sweating. Can you tell?
Awesome.
Stressed.
No, because then it's going to be staged and everything. I think it's okay.
I look so bad.
Now I want to know what other people said.
That was fun. How'd you like that?
That was fun.
I hope you guys enjoyed watching, and I want to give a massive thank you to everyone who appeared in this video. The plan is to interview them every year from now on in order to kind of follow their journey and see how they progress as a person from here. I want to give them the chance to react to their old messages and things like that. So if you want to see them in the future, subscribe and follow along. Hopefully you'll be able to follow their journey too. But anyway, thanks for watching. Hope you stick around, and I'll see you next time. Peace.